What's up, everybody? This is part 3 of my Sprinter van build, and in this video I glue down the floor, we start the cabinetry, and I install some bump out trim rings for my flares. So let's get to it. So I laid down a super thin coat of floor adhesive, and then I got this, I want to say 100 or maybe 150 pound roller, and started walking out this floor. In the past, I'd used a lot of glue, and I had just used heavy objects to weigh it down while it dried. And I learned from a floor installer that you actually want to use as little glue as you can, and to use the roller to spread it. So I hope this floor sticks much better than they have in the past. Here we are bolting together the modular Sprinter roof rack. So this thing's just really easy to put together and mount on the roof. Just a really stress-free option compared to building a custom rack. So I'm going to be upgrading and mounting my solar to this. But yeah, I'm really happy with how this looks on the outside of the van. Oh my gosh. Oh, I can't believe this fits. Okay, so right now it opens the wrong way, but I can flip that around. Dude, this is such a big fridge. This is such a big fridge. Oh my god. This is freaking awesome. Got some floor protection down. Everything's all bolted in. I don't know the last time I filmed, but bolted this all in. Floor's glued down. Getting everything ready before Danny comes and starts the cabinetry tomorrow. So here I'm just laying out the sink and the stove. It's got the fridge in. So look at how much space you have there under the induction stove. So when I started planning for the cabinetry in this van, I reached out to a local millworker slash cabinet maker by the name of Danny Jacobson. And he does awesome work, and we came up with a plan of attack for how to build this van out. A couple of things we knew were going to be a challenge was fastening into the aluminum and also dealing with the unusual shapes of the Sprinter van. What we didn't plan to run into was how all the welds on the aluminum, especially on the outside corners, made it really tricky for him to keep his cabinetry flat. So it really would have been beneficial to grind all those down before they were fastened into the van. So the way he installed these drawers into the aluminum was by building a carcass, which is the surrounding frame where the drawers are, slid that into the opening of the aluminum, fastened it to the aluminum, and then built the drawers inside of that carcass. We used undermount soft close slides. They work great. So the burgundy material is Fenix laminate onto Baltic birch. And then for all the internals, it's just pre-finished birch that is edge banded. I love the Fenix. It was a bit of a pricey decision, but this stuff is so nice in person. Cleans up great, very scratch resistant, and it can also iron scratches out of itself, which is pretty awesome for a van. I would definitely love to use this stuff again. So I got on to trimming out the flares, and this is a bit of a head scratcher, but it was actually easier than I thought it was going to be. So I templated out kind of this front face that I would then transfer to a piece of plywood. So here I am cutting that out with the track saw. So once I fit that piece in, I measured the distance from my frame to my flare, and I started building the inside of the trim ring. And I thought it came out looking pretty good. So next I move on to wrapping this trim ring. So I start with a low density foam, which I wasn't having any luck with the 3M spray adhesive, so I ended up stapling it on, which shows through the Duramax. I then spray adhesive the Duramax onto the foam, and that also doesn't really stick that well. So it might be my adhesive, but either way, I did it with the Duramax right onto the plywood on a few panels, and it turned out great, so I'm doing it like that from now on. Here I am throwing in these reading lights that are going to be above the bed. These are a must-have. Between there's a little phone charger off of them, and also just that lighting when you're in bed. It's pretty awesome. So I finished up wrapping the driver's side, and I'm going to finish the passenger side tomorrow. So this is kind of the first shot of the bed. I just finished this panel on top of it. So I had that all edge banded, and I routed out that channel. But here is the driver's side flare trim complete. So passenger side tomorrow, but today was a good day. So tomorrow came quick. I got that passenger side wrapped, and here I am running all my electrical through this panel. So I'm going to have a 12-volt plug. I'm going to have my 110 plug. I'm going to have my inverter controller. I'm going to have my lights. I'm going to have a switch for my fridge, which just makes it easy to turn off, and my battery monitor. So pretty stoked on getting that done. I think that looks great. So that's it for this one. Part 4 coming out as soon as possible. Happy building.